All right. Good afternoon on this lovely Easter Sunday in the OTHERhood. I'm Penelope Flynn, and I am here with Cranston and James and Otto and Sonia, and we are about to get started discussing with you our favorite, maybe not so favorite, Easter memories. So, first off, Cranston, your top setter, how's the weather in Jacksonville?
It is a strange mix of the last vestiges of winter and the first coming of spring. We've had a couple of days where it was like in the upper 70s during the day, and it got down into the 60s that night. And so it's kind of like that. You leave the house without a sweater at 8 o'clock because it still feels nice. And you come back outside at 10 o'clock and said, I wish I brought that sweater with me. Like right now, it's 81. So it's mostly spring-like going into summer. And
There's
you
not
get
a
with trees.
Go ahead. Did you hear me, James?
No,
Oh, so how's the weather?
right now it's 64 degrees. It's partially sunny. For the last couple of weeks, it's been like the Devo song, jerking back and forth, because 1 minute you have to wear an overcoat, the next minute you have to wear shorts.
Okay, that's extreme. Overcoat to shorts is extreme. But how are you doing with it? I mean, is this normal for you? And
No, this is typical, you know, spring.
no, okay,
It's just, at night the temperature drops, during the day the temperature rises.
mm-hmm.
Nothing new.
Nothing new. And how about you, Otto? How's the weather?
It's nice and sunny. We had some storms and touchdown of tornadoes yesterday in places like Possum Kingdom, but that's what you get for living in a place called Possum Kingdom. So
Yes.
it's little sunny, and about 70 degrees.
Right. And Sonia, I know you've had like that really crazy weather.
Yeah, it snowed
Snowing.
what Tuesday? It snowed Tuesday and Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Got into the 70s Friday and Saturday, and now it's going to get like 46.
Oh, okay.
It's
All right.
beautiful. It's nice. It's sunny outside, so I'll take the blue skies
I like
for
that
Mm-hmm.
weather.
now.
That's good weather.
Yeah, well, I'm
Yeah,
lucky because
but the Tuesday and Wednesday wasn't all that great.
okay. Well, I'm lucky because today I'm in Fort Lauderdale. And it's absolutely
Ooh.
beautiful. It is sunny. It is breezy. I mean, the low 80s, high 70s, just this fantastic weather. Fantastic weather. So I'm really enjoying it. And I don't know, Nikki, it looks like she didn't. She's just jumping in. Nikki is like, yeah, because Nikki is here as well because I'm down visiting. Um, but yeah, it is absolutely stunning weather here. I could not ask for better or more. Mm. And I think, and here's Nikki. She's finally hitting the stage. So yeah, I was just giving my assessment of the weather. So Nikki, what is your assessment of the weather?
Oh, the weather's nice here today. It's a good Easter. It's sunny and there are
Mm-hmm.
no clouds in the sky,
Mm-hmm.
blue skies. It's nice and it's warm outside too.
Yeah, it is. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, you got a few
Nikki,
little floating clouds here and there.
yeah. See, Nikki's in the front of the house. I'm in the back of the house, so I'm with the view of the pool. So I'm looking out the window at the pool where I am, up to the door to the pool. But she's in the front. And
A
it's well,
great,
she has, hmm?
great weather to search for eggs.
Yeah, it is great weather to search for eggs. If I was a kid, I'd be out there right now, about now, searching for eggs. In fact, did anybody have like community groups or kids or grandkids, nieces, nephews, and stuff that you all did the Easter hunts and stuff with today or yesterday if you did it, earlier?
Mm-mm.
Too expensive. No.
Oh, yeah, I keep
No.
forgetting eggs. We forgot about that eggs.
Before I hunt for eggs.
It's so bad that the Dollar Trees up here ran out of the plastic eggs too.
Wow.
Before you hunt for eggs, you hunt for money to
Yeah,
buy the
there you
eggs.
go.
Because
Yes.
I remember when eggs were like a dozen. You can get a dozen eggs for $1. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the crazy
Now,
thing, it used to be that when Easter came around, the prices on eggs would drop.
yeah, they look at us now and they say that is a drop.
Yeah.
well, I just ordered some eggs from the store and they had it delivered in an armored truck.
Mhm.
I'll tell you, it's amazing because I think about all the stuff we did as children. You get the eggs, you color the eggs, and then they're boiled. You color them, you put them outside. Can you imagine now? Somebody said, "What? You're taking out eggs, boiling them, and sitting them outside? Are you crazy?" I'm playing with eggs. I'm not been coloring eggs. I'm playing with eggs, you know. And it used to be that was an inexpensive activity, you know, for children to do for Easter. So to me, it's crazy. That's something that we always considered this, you know, happy, inexpensive, you know, activity that parents could do with their kids or kids all do on their own. That it's been priced out now.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I remember when we were children, we used to get the tablets to do the Easter eggs that you had to put vinegar in it. Remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
And then later on, they made them so that you just put water in them, but they were never the colors are never as vibrant as the ones we had at the beginning, or dark as the ones that you got when you put the vinegar in them.
Yeah.
Now it was really interesting because I was talking to Otto the other day, or yesterday, the day before yesterday, and I was mentioning the fact that I was watching Mad Men. Um, what is that? I can't remember which season. Maybe it was first, second season, and they had gone to church. And it occurred to me that I was looking at the missalette that they had in the Catholic Church, that the day that that episode was an Easter Sunday, and it was also Otto's birthday.
Oh, nice.
He didn't remember that it was done on his birthday.
Yeah, your
So
birthday is coming soon, isn't it, Otto?
Yeah, I'm not concerned about it. But you know, the thing is, Easter is one of those reverse holidays that, to me, I know James is going to say I'm cynical, but it's one of those reverse holidays that shouldn't be what it is. It's like when you're a kid, it's all about the candy and the eggs and the rabbit ears and all that kind of stuff, and suffering through church. But in reality, it's Christ was killed, right? And then that's one thing, and then it's, if you're Jewish, it's Passover. So the angel of death passed over some other, you know, people who weren't shrouded in the blood of the Lamb.
Here goes
It's like
Donald Downer.
yeah, so it's like one of those reverse holiday, yay, but not really. It's like Juneteenth. It's like yay, but not really.
yeah,
You
yay!
know,
But
it's
we were
like
Okay,
kids.
I hope by the end of this episode I don't want to stick my head in the oven, you know. 'Cause you just
so
you're
what the
like,
hell are you celebrating? It should be a solemn occasion, like maybe thinking about why Christ was
It
crucified.
is if you're Anglican.
Well, I don't care if you Biblican.
I
You
know.
know, it's like you. It's just about the candy. When I grew up, it was about the candy and maybe some rabbits and the Cottontail and all that stuff like that. And you know, it's a reverse holiday. It's like we pervert holidays so we can be happy about things, but it's like, maybe we should be thinking about something else.
okay, Otto, let me ask you a question. Maybe this is along the lines of what you say. In Brooklyn back in the day, did the pet shop sell baby chicks?
Nah, man, I ain't got no baby chicks. I wouldn't bring all that at home.
No, I'm saying, but did they sell them out in Brooklyn at the pet shops?
Nah, man. What would they sell that for?
No, listen, in the Bronx, that's what the pet shops used to do. They
What you gonna
sold
do with it?
See, that was the problem. They would sell these baby chicks, and
Mm-hmm.
people would buy the baby chicks for Easter.
And that was it.
Then that's yeah, exactly, exactly, Nikki. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
After that,
That's
you're
it.
like,
Now
what
what?
the hell am I going to do
Exactly.
Well,
with this chick?
you feed it to the baby, you feed it to the baby alligator you brought from Florida. It's not,
Mm-hmm.
you
Well,
know.
that's what they did here, and it wasn't the pet shops; it was the feed shops, and they would sell these little baby chicks that were all fuzzy and cute looking.
And cute. Yep.
And sometimes I think they used to dye them, which probably was not very good for the
Oh
baby
Lord.
chicks.
Mm-hmm.
But the baby chicks did not have a very long shelf life anyway. And either the kids would lose interest in them after a while, or
Mm-hmm.
there'd be a cold snap that would come through and that would take them out, or they would forget to do things like give them food and water. And if you
Mm-hmm.
had a cat or a dog in your house, that was another thing to look out
Ooh.
for.
Yeah.
So it was something that would probably today would be banned by so many agencies until they wouldn't do it. But back in the day, that was it, and everything. You take them home and be ecstatic about them for like 3 hours, and after that,
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Because
gonna be
back when they're
honest.
they're young and cute
I'm
and
gonna be
furry and
honest with
fuzzy,
you.
but they
When
start to
we
get
were
older, then they start looking like chickens, which are not very attractive.
when we were younger, if we wanted something like that. Penelope, you know good and well. Mommy will no, you don't
Oh,
need
that would
that.
never happen.
You don't need that.
Does
Mm-hmm.
it eat food? No.
Yeah.
Does it have to be cared for? No.
Uh-uh. They
well,
got
Those
the
that.
things are
reverse.
the answer things are yes, and it is not a child. No.
Well, the other thing is that today, when all of these people were thinking, "Yeah, I'm going to cash in by, growing my own eggs," and they didn't tell them things at the time of sale, like it's going to be like 3 to 6 months before these chickens start producing.
True.
So
My question is, why would you think a baby chick would produce eggs? That makes no sense.
Mm-mm.
that's
I mean, I
because
think you would have to know.
people who did not pay attention in biology class.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's true too. And what do they
People
eat
or people
when
who
they give it
freaking
to you
out
for the
because they come out.
holiday? When they give it to you for the holiday, do they give you food for it or something, or tell you how to feed it?
Nope.
I
Some
think
people
they would
like
sell
goodbye.
you. Yeah, they would sell you something to tell them this is what you feed them, and it was just like powdered stuff and everything, but it
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be a lot because they knew what the deal was going to be. So,
Wow, that is incredible. I don't
yeah.
think that that would be something that many people. I remember one of Nikki's friends worked at a daycare center, or her sister worked at a daycare center, and I think they did that. They brought give kids chicks in order to raise them. I guess to see the process of raising chicks. And I'm going to tell you that stuff. I thought about. I saw them getting older and older, and I kept wondering what's going to happen to these chicks when they stop being cute and the kids start getting scared of them.
Mm-hmm.
But chickens are scary.
Yeah, because when she said when they started growing up, she said all those kids lost interest.
Yeah, because they weren't cute anymore.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. No, no.
And all the bunnies that got sold.
Well, I never saw too many of those. The people selling the rabbit. I'm sure they did those
Yeah.
in other places, but I never saw too many of those get sold. You
There's
know,
a noise going on, and it's a clicking.
fan. Still got a fan going.
Nope.
That better?
Yes.
Well, it was
Well, I
something that
told
a friend of mine found out that she had gotten an inheritance somehow. Her one of her grandchildren, the other grandfather on the other side of the family, gave her a rabbit for her birthday, and nobody could understand why that came about. But she ended up taking care of the rabbit, and she had named Candy. And the rabbit was good, and she took good care of it. Except there are little things you don't know about rabbits, like to keep their teeth sharpened, they're constantly chewing on stuff. And so there go all your furniture, all of your shoe heels, all of your electrical cables and stuff like that. So
Why is the rabbit allowed to roam their house free?
because it's too cute to keep it confined in a cage, and then it looks sad and everything. And so when she would keep it in a cage while she was at work, but then she would let it out as soon as she got home, and then the rabbit was going, I can chew on this, I can chew on that, and everything. And of course, you talk to these animals as if they understand what you're saying.
Well, my mother forced a rabbit on on me. I didn't want the pet, and the only thing I found out about a rabbit is they shit a lot. They shit a lot, man, and and it's not normal shit. It's like pellets. They're like you cannot let them. You cannot let them out of a cage because you've been stepping on pellets all day long. And if the rabbit can understand English.
Yeesh.
Well, you don't know whether it's Walt Disney's fault or whatever it is, but he has convinced people that nature is full of these cute furry creatures that are always having a good time and smiling, and they don't tell you about the other side, about the care and
shitting a lot,
all that kind of stuff. That's part of the circle of life.
Something.
The circle of
I
death.
know that
the circle of death gets shat all over the place.
Yeah, but a lot of parents think that those are good things for kids to have, to teach them about responsibility, blah, blah,
like
blah.
my mother did. I wanted that thing to die so much. I just like, why that? I didn't ask for this. Why do I have it? I want to get rid of it so much, so badly. It was like a pink.
And she said, now look,
it's a pink,
as bad as this is,
a pink-eyed alien.
See, but you know what? Your mom had it right, because then you ask the question, do I want to have kids and stuff like that? Then you're really hesitant to jump off into that.
I was 15 years old. I would rather had a child.
Okay. So there we go. Somebody who would rather have had a child than a rabbit. Well, how about your siblings? Did they like it?
Yeah, they loved it because they didn't have to take care of it. When I saw Fatal Attraction, I said, oh, shit, I should have done that.
Okay. All right, man. But
okay, so moving along. What was your favorite? Everybody, what was your favorite Easter candy?
Chocolate rabbit of any dimension and kind. I would take a chocolate rabbit. You put the stuff out there. If there's chocolate rabbit in the selection process, that's the thing I'm picking. Right?
Yeah, but
or am I supposed to do it by company or corporate entity?
But sometimes you would get the problem I had with chocolate rabbits was you thought you was getting one thick wedge of chocolate shaped as a rabbit. Then you found out it was hollow.
Yeah, this is true.
Well, that was economics. If your parents were had of means, they could get you a nice, solid chocolate rabbit from the good store. But if your parents were on a budget, you got that hollow rabbit that one bite, and then it's all of it that doesn't melt in your hands. It crumbles.
Oh my God! I remember one year in particular. Like, we got the chocolate rabbit, right? And the little chocolate rabbit, and he was holding the orange carrot, and everybody had one, and it was so very cute, right? So we come Easter morning. This one we're living on the other side of the seventh place.
Yeah.
Easter morning, we come out, and apparently, I don't know how they figured it out that it was my rabbit was the one that apparently was set too close to the stove, and everybody else was all nice and pretty. Mine was a melted molten mass of chocolate with a freaking carrot sticking out of it. I was so pissed off. It's like, and, I mean, you can't in your mind, you're real mad, you want to cry and stuff. But if you do, then you get in trouble for getting messing up Easter for everybody. I was so mad, Mike. I mean, it just melted. It just like melted. I don't know if you remember that. It's sticking out, that orange carrot sticking out.
I hear that noise again.
Vaguely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that noise again.
It's not me.
Not me either.
It could be my computer because my computer apparently has turned off my camera and I don't know how to get it back on again.
Okay. Yeah, but I vaguely remember that, Penelope.
Yeah, I was so mad. I mean, I was just, saying with these want to cry. Because remember, this is at the beginning of the day. So everybody's going out and you've got your Easter basket and then you have your little chocolate rabbit that is the showpiece, of your Easter basket. And mine is just this piece of janky looking chocolate. He's all like melted up, like half his head and face and stuff all melted out. It was terrible.
But despite all of that, none of that resembled what the holiday was really about. So, as kids, that's how we introduced to Easter. Chocolate and Peeps, and it's like a Halloween in April.
Gosh, I didn't like those things. Peeps, those were the nastiest pieces of candy. Didn't like them.
How long did Peeps? How long would Peeps last in your house? Because I remember in my household, it got to the point where Peeps stayed in the kitchen for almost a year because we didn't want any more of that.
No. I mean, that's not even the candy of last resort. That's the candy that, even if I'm all out of candy, I'm not eating it.
I'm not going to eat that.
Right. I'm not eating that. It is the absolute worst.
What's that?
I don't like marshmallow candies. I don't like them in nice cereal marshmallows. If you're going to have a marshmallow, eat normal marshmallows. When they try to make anything out of a marshmallow, it is always disgusting.
What is that? These little egg-like things we used to get, Penelope. They were eggs.
Oh, yeah. And they're marshmallow eggs.
Into them, and it's like you're biting into some white sugar. They were
It's
real
like the marshmallow eggs. Those were just those.
Yes.
The chocolate on the outside, the inside, it just.
Yes.
Let me correct myself. They really aren't chocolate on the outside. What it is just so it takes this marshmallow shaped like an egg and just dips it in the suggestion of chocolate. And I mean, there's not much. I mean, you bite the chocolate, it's like it cracks off. Almost. I mean, it is not smooth, delicious. It just bends and comes off. It is not. It's almost like eating a Charleston chew without the stuff that Charleston chew uses to make it taste good.
It was now those will stay in my Easter basket along with the Peeps. Those get thrown away.
Yeah, those are not delicious. I mean, but if I have the choice between eating Peeps and that chocolate covered marshmallow mess, I would eat the chocolate covered marshmallow mess before I eat the Peeps.
Well, it was a few years ago that Pepsi, as a holiday promotion, came up with Peeps flavored Pepsi.
And what in the world does it taste like? Because I don't think Peeps have a flavor.
Yeah, well, they never did it again, so we will never know.
It tastes like discontinued. It tastes like discontinued. That's what it tastes like.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nikki, I think that's yours. It's probably your fan. Them do that clicky thing. All right, there we go. That was nice. No, that's one again. All right. There, it's gone away. That's bad.
It's something dealing with your voice, Penelope.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I've got two things open or something. I only have one thing open, I think.
See, now you're talking, you can hear it again, but when you're not talking, it doesn't happen.
Okay, then I'll mute myself. Maybe that'll help.
Give it a try and see. Okay. All right, we can finish.
Okay, right then I was muted.
Mm-hmm. We can
I don't
tell.
know I don't know what it is.
Yeah, we'll live with it. We'll just live with it.
Maybe we can introduce a new candy called like chocolate nails and chocolate cross.
You know what?
That's very
No.
ungood.
No,
No.
but
Chocolate
the
nails.
reason is that the way the kids are introduced to holidays is kind of suspicious to me. It's like, we're introduced to Christmas, which is the birth of Christ, to presents and stuff like that, and we're introduced to Easter, with candy, chocolate, and Easter bunny and stuff. And I don't know any people of the Jewish faith how they encounter Passover. I think they're given it's I don't know if it's more solemn. They're given unleavened bread. I have no idea. If anybody knows, anybody knows.
Mm-mm.
I have no idea.
Well, something I had always wondered about,
No
one
idea.
of those weird things that you said, okay, and I was wondering, because all of the major religions that have dietary restrictions don't do Easter anyway. But it always puzzled me, why would the centerpiece for the meal celebrating the death, birth, and resurrection of a Jewish person feature ham?
Yeah, doesn't make
Because
sense.
people are poor.
Well, what had happened
They-
was back in the late 1800s, the Smithfield meat company, which is still in existence, but it's been bought up and consumed in so many corporate takeovers, it's owned by some conglomerate over in Europe. But they had all of these hams that they couldn't sell. And so it was just marketing. They said, you know what will really set off your holiday meal is a nice Smithfield ham. And that's how it happened.
That's it.
Wow.
Just marketing.
Yeah, so that we can market like the chocolate matzah or something, or like combined Passover and Easter. Chocolate unleavened bread.
Mm-mm. No.
Yeah, with your well, remember that time that we went to vacation a few years back, and we went to Galveston, and said we wanted to get pizza. And this place said, "Oh, it's a pizza place," that was open, and they delivered. So we went to the place that opened and delivered. And when we got there, I mean, they delivered it to us. We ate the pizza. It's supposed to be a thin crust pizza, and we're like, "Huh."
They ate your pizza?
No, we ate it. We got it. They delivered it, and it's like, what is it about this pizza? It's supposed to be thin crust, but this is not quite right. And it took us a minute, but then Otto and I realized that crust was matzah. It tastes like matzah.
Okay, did they let y'all know that it was matzah? Or
no, it's supposed to be thin crust pizza. That thing tastes like matzah.
They called it pizza.
So this
I was too hungry and angry to take it back, so I ate it.
So this was a Passover pizza.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
that's what
okay.
It was.
Yeah, that's what they'll say. The Passover pizza.
Yeah.
They gave it to us with matzah.
They just couldn't cook. That's what it is. They forgot to add the right water or something.
Yeah, it tastes just like matzah.
Yeah.
It's like, what's wrong with this pizza?
If it was Passover because it's unleavened, you can't put the yeast that you would put in for regular pizza dough.
That's right.
Yeah, but
that's right.
That wasn't Easter.
That's what Jesus. That's what Jesus had.
So who owned the pizza place though? Was it a kosher Jewish couple?
I didn't.
No idea.
We didn't investigate it. We just ate it.
No,
it was probably just people. It was probably people that didn't know what the fuck they was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I would
Could
agree
be
with
that.
that 100%.
Or it could be
I agree 100%
James.
with that assessment.
It could be James that you're being disrespectful to these people who are making this 11 pizza. So
I'm loving
you got to
pizza.
think
I
about
tell
that.
you
Yeah.
one thing, we don't have to worry about that in New York.
No, you don't. You
Because
do not
in
have to
New
worry about
York,
that
if
in New
you
York.
even try to do something like that, you'll be chased out of town.
Yep, yeah.
With bags full of money.
Agreed. As well, you
Bags
should
full of
be.
money. With bags full of money, I'd be chased out of town because I make a lot of money.
Yeah, you really, until they found you out, because they would know immediately. It took us a second to really say, "What is this?" If they would bite into it immediately, no. Wait, what? I just paid all this money for this? No.
But the thing
Nah.
about Easter, is it's not really other than the chocolate eggs and the pink-eyed animals that crap throughout our house. It's not really a great time to like cartoons, or it's not like a lead up. It's not like a lead up holiday like Christmas is.
Right.
People say, "Oh, do you feel Christmassy?" Or people don't ask you, "Do you feel Easterly?" Or no one asks.
No, they really don't. They don't. But remember, there is a lead up. Easter is the thing. The lead up is Mardi Gras during Advent. Remember, so if Mardi Gras is the big party,
I thought
leading
the
you
Ten
up to-
Commandments. I thought watching the Ten Commandments was the thing.
Yeah.
No,
Well, see,
that's
yeah,
a
that is
Passover
it.
movie.
the problem
Yeah, and
with Easter,
you know what? That's funny because I was telling Otto the other day when I was a kid, I kept wondering why do they keep showing the Ten Commandments during Easter? There's no Jesus thing in it. And then later on, when I went to middle school, then it's Passover. Okay,
Yeah.
it's a Jewish holiday we're celebrating, not Easter. I said, because why does it come on during Easter all the time then?
And also
So, yeah,
because it's the time when there's not much going on TV, so you can need something long to sell a whole bunch of ads.
well, the other problem is
and also
because-
with Easter is with movies, anything that has somebody wearing sandals, they're gonna throw on as the lead up to Easter.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. No, look at Ben-Hur.
Yeah, I didn't know what the hell that was. I don't know what was going on.
But Ben-Hur is an Easter movie.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
Why is that an Easter? I never saw that movie. Why is that an Easter movie?
Because remember that his mom and his sister got leprosy?
I had no idea. I didn't
And
watch
then
the film.
at the end, when they sacrifice Christ, and then it rains, and then all the lepers are out in the rain, and it's washing away their leprosy. Remember that?
I didn't see the movie. No.
Okay, but that's what happens.
Yeah,
Sorry if I ruined it for you. Sorry if I ruined it for you 100 years later.
And
I don't
and
intend on watching it.
and
I
he
don't-
supposedly carries the cross for Jesus at some point.
Yeah, anything with sandals is a lead up to Easter. Here in New York, you used to get a lot of Hercules movies leading up to Easter. And
oh, you gotta be kidding.
no, I
You're
kid
kidding.
you not. Like I said, anything with men in togas and wearing sandals, you throw it off for Easter.
Yeah, James, right. It was all a blur to me. So it's like, Ben-Hur, Hercules, Aristotle,
Okay.
the greatest story ever told.
Yes, you get that one.
Gospel, Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah.
Well, those I can see.
All
well,
those
the
things.
problem
But
with
then,
Easter is that it's a movable feast.
Exactly.
Labor Day comes around, and Christmas time is here, and that kind of thing. But you never know when exactly
somebody educate me on
Easter
that.
season starts.
Somebody educate me on that, because it's like, is it the only holiday that's like a moving target? It's like sometimes it's in March, sometimes it's in April, sometimes it's
Well, it has
like,
something to do with the religious calendar.
No, it's the first Sunday after the first full moon or something like that.
what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's astronomical, so that's why it moves, and it can't
That's the
happen
dumbest
before
shit
a
I've ever
certain
seen.
date or after a certain date.
The
That's the dumbest shit I've ever
first
seen.
Sunday following the first full moon after the the spring equinox.
Okay, you can
That
miss
does
me
not
with that.
sound like a holiday made
That's
for
not,
Christmas.
nah, that don't sound
It's
like no-
because it used to be, that's when the pagans would have their celebration for the beginning of, that's their new year. time after the first full moon, and then Christianity came on. We've got a God who we can celebrate at that time too.
Okay, so that somebody tell me why Easter is moving every year, please.
Because because it's tied. It's still following the pagan tradition of being celebrating the pagan New Year. But they can't call it pagan New Year, so you have another god that sacrifices himself like the pagan god does, and you celebrate his death at that time.
Right.
You said too many words.
Early Christianity was just early
You know
Christianity
what?
was cultural appropriation.
Just like Christmas.
And
Christmas,
that's what it is.
logically, Christmas wouldn't be in December; it would be in April.
Yeah,
because
I get
the
that.
shepherds
But hold
flocking
on a
at night.
second. But
December,
but
But
Christmas
they're
is always
saying
on
here that on the
December
this said that
every
it's
year.
this is the Paschalis, the Computus Paschalis, which is Latin for Easter computation. Or they say basically this Eastern Orthodox Church dates that they celebrate on the first Sunday after the Paschal full moon. A mathematical approximation of the first astronomical full moon on or after March 21st.
So why is it on April 20th? Why is it?
Because that date moves. It moves because it's based only on when that Paschal full moon is, and when that happens, then you start counting.
We just had the full moon. We called it the pink full moon.
I suggest we start a campaign getting Easter set on a date.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that because it's been many a year where I'm like, Easter.
Yeah, especially because right now I'm in Florida because I thought Easter was next week. So
there you go. There you go.
I thought it was next Sunday.
Yeah, and then sometimes it's in March, and then sometimes in April. What's the deal with this holiday? You know?
I can remember coloring eggs for Sunday, and come to find out it wasn't Easter.
And what do you do?
Wow.
Well, they were boiled, so I made egg salad.
Oh wow.
That's hard. That's a horrible thing. See,
but also you wasted your egg coloring.
Yeah, I know.
So I guess we started talking about our favorite candies, and I know that we got off on the me and Nikki got off the marshmallow chocolates and the chocolate bunnies, and I mean I know I did not like Cadbury eggs. Did anybody else have a favorite or not favorite?
No, I didn't have a problem with Cadbury eggs.
How about the rabbits that were hollow but then had some crap inside of it that was nasty? How about that?
Oh yeah, you're right. That is worse than hollow.
What the hell is that? It's like I'm biting this rabbit, and then all of a sudden all this other yellow stuff start coming up. What the hell is this?
Now I tell you what I would do when it came to jelly beans. I'm fine with jelly beans except for licorice.
I love licorice.
Licorice the best. Man.
No.
Licorice the best.
No, if I got a secret that you want to find out about, instead of torturing me,
the jelly beans and the licorice.
I pour licorice in your mouth.
Tell you everything I know. Just don't have me touch that. Touch no licorice, please.
Licorice is great.
No,
licorice is great.
Yeah, I like the licorice. So you didn't like the licorice? None of those little licorice jelly beans?
No.
How about regular jelly beans? You like regular ones though, right?
Yeah, the regular, but nothing licorice passes these lips. No.
What is the
eggs that were like? You put them in your mouth, right? And the outside of it is like it's white or speckled eggs, right? The inside was like a marbled ball.
Yeah. Yeah, those were. I had to be in the mood for those. I mean, I didn't hate them. I didn't love them. Depended on my mood.
Okay. I mean, but y'all remember those, right? The speckled eggs.
Yeah.
Pickled eggs.
Speckled.
The speckled eggs. They're white and sometimes like pastel spots on them
those
and
things are
stuff.
horrible.
Okay,
no.
so there we have another opinion about speckled eggs. One I can take or leave. The other one another one they are horrible.
Those things
Okay.
are horrible. Oh.
Ah,
I mean, I'm asking Sonia. Sonia,
Huh.
you're kind of quiet about these things. You are allowed to
That's
have
because no, it's because my Seventh Day Adventists don't really. They celebrate the fact that Jesus is resting on Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
and yes, he rose on Sunday because he was resting on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So the calendar's kind of shifted.
Mm-hmm.
So the Good Friday, people say that's when he was executed. No, if you do he rested 3 days, then he was executed on Thursday. Because the evening and the morning are the first day. So he was executed Thursday night, which is why sunset. The sun went down so fast. So, and then my family was originally Anglican, so we had that religious bent. So you were in church pretty much all day Saturday. So Sunday you were recovering and sleeping from being in church all day.
I mean, did Thursday
So no Easter
actually
baskets.
exist?
Did y'all at least get Easter baskets?
Well, see, I never was a candy person either until I got older. So, I'd get some candy and I'd get some treats, but mostly, with Jamaica, you'd have your fruit bun, which is like a very, very moist fruit cake, and a big hunk of cheese, and that's what you'd pig out on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh God, hold me back.
Okay, again, Easter basket?
Oh,
Not
God,
really.
Easter
I would
basket.
not really.
Basket with
Nope.
fake grass at the bottom,
Nah.
a plethora of candy and sometimes toys.
No.
Yes.
Nah.
Okay. No. It's like, oh, by the way, anybody get toys?
I would
Little
make. I
toys
would.
in their Easter
When I
basket.
got older, I would get stuff like that. When I was exposed to
Mhm.
the outside world and went to public school,
Mhm.
because that's what all my friends were
Okay,
getting, but it was never really a family tradition.
My brother and I would get new suits every other year.
You got whole new suits?
Yeah.
Whole new suits every other year, and
Wow.
and they were
You've probably
identical
grown out of them
blue
if you come every
suits.
year. Every other year, excuse me.
Every other year, identical
Every
blue
other year.
suits and
So did you all?
snap brim hats that went
I
with
said,
it. Looking back, we looked like colored Blues Brothers.
Oh, you had hats to go with your suits?
Yep.
You look like pimps.
Yeah.
wow. Okay. So when you all were little boys, I'm certain you all got Easter baskets, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you got older, I mean, when I grew up, you go older, and the boys did not get Easter baskets anymore. They had Easter pails. Did you all get those?
No, we were just too old to get that kind of stuff. That's it.
Nah, this went to
you get a pail.
Easter baskets, and as we got older, it was clothes to wear wherever you went on Easter Sunday. Which that's another question. Where did you guys go on Easter? We used to go to either the movies or Coney Island.
And why would you go to the movies on Easter?
Wow.
Because that's
You know
where
what?
all our friends were.
So you were actually allowed
Yeah.
to.
We went to
You were actually allowed to.
we went
leave
to the
house
take
on
yourself home on Easter. That's what we did.
Yeah.
We were allowed to leave
You
the
go
house on
from-
Easter and go with friends to do anything.
Yeah.
Oh no,
you would go from church. No. No. We go from church to visiting relatives to home so other relatives could visit us, and that's it.
Nah, with us,
That's
we
it.
would go to church. Then when everybody come back, we go to Westchester Avenue to the Chinese restaurant, which was a real Chinese restaurant back
Right.
then. And then after that, we
Yep.
go to the ward and whatever was playing. With the ward, I remember one Easter seeing Dr. No, Goldfinger, Thunderbolt, and You Only Live Twice.
Those
The
are very
whole-
Those
yeah,
are very
that was-
Easterly
So
movies.
very
yeah.
Easter films.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
see,
I don't.
that when we got home Sunday night, the local broadcast networks would show like, Ten Commandments or King of Kings. So we didn't have to worry about going to see a religious movie at the ward. Nah, we going to see Bond, James Bond.
James Bond. I don't know, Nikki. We were listening just now. We were talking about those things in Easter, like what you do afterwards, and how we would have to get dressed and go visit people, and then come home. Somebody had to come visit us because we didn't go anywhere else. Like, can you remember anywhere else we ever went on Easter? I don't recall going anywhere except church, and then to go to that relatives, the grand tour, and then come home.
We didn't go to church because our family was not very church oriented, but we
What'd you
would
get
go
the new
out to
suit
this
for?
really nice park so we could walk on, like real grass and everything. And there was a local ice cream shop that actually made all of their ice cream in-house from real ingredients. And we would get an ice cream cone and go to the park and then go home.
If you
Eat
weren't going
dinner
to
and get
church,
ready to go to school the next day.
if you weren't going to church, what do you get any new
Holy
suits
moly.
and hats? What do you get any new suits and hats for there?
That's because we should have a suit for just in case.
In case what?
Or the only
Just
place we go is church.
Fortunately,
Yeah.
we never found out. So but if we needed one, we had
That's
it.
the only place that we go there to dress up.
Yeah. And I like, and you know what? I like the suits that you get for little boys back in the day. They didn't have long pants. You get short suits.
Oh no, we had
that's
real
cute.
pants.
But those are
We
for
did- we
little
did not
boys. They're
look
like little boys. How old were you when
No,
you first got your long pants suit?
Always we never dressed up like Richie Rich.
Wow. Oh, little boys, used to have those little boy suits. I know you had one, James. What's your little boy suit with the shorts? You had one, right? Admit it.
You're
He ain't saying
muted.
I
You're
can't hear you.
muted.
I think you're muted, James. Oh, yeah, you
Yeah.
is. There we go. Uh-huh. What? It got muted again.
How that? Okay, it's
Okay, there we
going
go.
off. Yeah. No.
Okay, there we go. We're good. We're good.
The only thing odd I remember was that I had one Easter. I had a plaid suit jacket. Okay. A plaid suit
stands.
jacket.
I went to mass this morning, and I saw a man wearing a green and white plaid, dominating green and white plaid suit jacket at church, the mass this morning.
This was left over from
And I said to myself,
St. Patrick's Day.
I must have. I mean, why? Why would you wear it? It was absolutely hideous. I mean, I guess that's what he wanted to wear, and he certainly must have been because he wore it. But I'm thinking, why? It was just absolutely hideous. I guess if he wanted to be seen, he got seen.
Yeah. I guess when I had my plaid jacket, I guess that's what my mother thought.
Yeah, but you were little.
Well, you
I
said
know.
plaid jacket.
Right, but you were little.
Did you have?
I mean, you didn't buy it yourself, I presume.
Did you have pants that match, or what? What was that?
No, the pants were dark.
Oh,
yeah.
That's not too bad.
But some
Then
green
I
plaid looks
remember,
good, but the one this guy had was too much white, and it looked terrible.
Then I remember one Easter I was looking like one of the, well, we all were. We were looking like one of the Jackson 5, had the platform shoes and the sky blue. Yeah, the vest, sky blue vest.
All right.
Pants, jacket.
Yeah.
Had my Applejack cap,
Oh my goodness, you're all the way. All the way.
Wait a minute, you had a hat on too? Yeah, hat.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the cap, like the Apple cap.
Yeah.
Wow. That must have been so cute. You have to share
Yeah.
pictures of that. That must have been just adorable.
And do y'all sing "Stop the Love You Say May Be Your Own"?
No, we
Yeah.
say, look into the window.
Oh yeah, I love that song. Come on.
Mm.
That's cute. That is very cute.
You ever tried running
And
in platform shoes?
No, no, you
yeah,
can't do it.
yeah.
Can't do it.
I remember
Always
one
thought about
Easter.
that.
Yeah. And what there's a picture of in somebody posted on Facebook with one of my sisters when we were little girls and my mom made us. My mom used to always make our formal, dresses, clothes like that. And so we were all wearing these little pink Easter dresses. They're absolutely just adorable. And I remember that my sister's daughter at one point, wore one of those little pink dresses because I think, we kept them. Some of them, I mean, they made it all the way into like the next generation.
And what's the
Mm.
deal with the color of the Easter? Because once again, you're talking about the crucifixion and the death of Christ.
I
Shouldn't
think
Pagan.
those are the spring colors. I think they're like
spring?
the coming of spring colors.
It's pagan colors, yeah, because spring to welcome and to thank the gods and for the sacrifice and attract um, good heart, the coming plantings and things to succeed. Most Easter traditions come from pagan practices.
Yeah.
And maybe just because we just like spring and I want to wear pastels.
You should be wearing black.
Debbie, pastels.
You should wear funeral black or something.
Yeah,
Stop it. Stop it. I mean,
That is for the crucifixion. You're supposed to be celebrating the resurrection.
yeah,
Yeah, you still in the funeral black.
yeah, because he's supposed to be coming back. So
the
you should be
rebirth.
happy.
You
Spring,
should wear. You should wear
with hope,
directions.
But you
spring,
know what? I'm going to
eternal.
tell you, like you talk about this, Otto, but one of the serious issues behind it, like you say, how it is that we introduce this very broad general concept of death, to children is by telling them that death doesn't exist.
Or it
You
can be
know,
correct, or it could be corrected. It's just a mistake that was made,
right,
and
right,
then it could be corrected later with candy.
yeah. But I'm just saying, that, again, this myth, that is, be spread to children so that they're not. I don't know if it's so that they are not afraid of death or they don't think that there are
Yeah,
mortal
yeah, that's
consequences for rebellion.
yeah, that's all it is. That's all. It's a indoctrination
Hmm.
that's done to children because you don't want your child ready to be spazzing out, about death and dying and
Hmm.
all that when they're growing up. You want them to, once they get a certain age, have some type of healthiness in their mind, so to speak. You
Is
know.
it
Yeah, but
healthy
I think,
though?
but is it how healthy is it to tell someone that
Well,
this person rebelled against the powers that be, and then the powers that be grabbed him. All his friends disowned him. Then they tortured him, and then they killed him. But it's okay because 3 days later, he came back to life. You
yeah.
know?
Well, again, you don't want that going through a child's mind. From when they're born to about 10. So you do
Hmm.
things like buy the,
Easter bunny.
get a child a rabbit to take care of
Yep.
as a pet and all
There you
that.
go.
But
Unless you kill the
then,
rabbit.
Hmm.
yeah, but then as time goes on, you start to
Hmm.
find out some really awful truths.
Yeah, and then you become.
Like I have been. I remember, how I am with history.
Hmm.
At an early age, I was totally flabbergasted when I found out that basically after the death and resurrection of Christ, the Roman Empire went on still doing their dirt for like centuries after that. But then they became Christians. But then even when they turned to Christianity, they were still having gladiator
Hmm.
events, So it's like I'm like, damn,
It's hard.
this is kind of crazy. So
Yeah,
you
it's
want
hard to
to,
stop.
yeah, it's hard to fathom, you
Yep.
know. So at an early age, you don't want your kids to spaz out. So that's why you have the
Well, at an
rabbits and
early
the chicks.
age, you don't want them to know that they've been lied to.
Yeah,
You want them to get older before they find out that they've been lied to.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No,
yeah.
there you go. they, you, because you find out as you get older that you have basically been lied to.
So what else is
You
there?
know.
Santa
Yeah.
Claus, Easter Bunny. What else you got?
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is that you have on one hand, you're trying to teach these children about religion. On the other hand, involved in this religion is also the concept of rebellion. And, we don't talk about the fact of, Christ being rebellious against the current regime, maybe soft rebellion, but it was rebellion nonetheless. And I want to tell you, they still, as soft as that rebellion may have been, they still wanted to kill him. You
Well,
Yeah.
know?
as a kid,
They also don't teach that everybody in the Bible is not blonde and blue eyed like Surfer Jesus.
Yeah.
well, as a kid, they don't tell you any of that. I mean, my connection with Easter is candy and eggs and colored eggs.
Yeah.
That's
There you
it. I
go.
mean, the stuff that's going on regarding Christ and rebellious and Pontius Pilate and all that stuff. It's just background noise to me eating candy and getting
There you
eggs.
go.
That's pretty
Hmm.
much it.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then we had to take that stuff, in class, we had what CCD, and stuff like that when we were young. And it was when people are teaching you this stuff, I gotta say, when you're very young, it is very weighty. It is very weighty. And you are trying to listen to this stuff and be properly indoctrinated, but you have all these questions. And nobody is in the mood to be answering your questions. They're just like, be quiet and get indoctrinated like you're supposed to. Here's
Hmm.
some candy. Here's some candy.
Yeah, let's get to the candy eating.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're getting down to it. We're almost at the end of the time we have together today. So we talked just briefly, about our entertainment that we saw. Now, somebody was saying not many cartoons, Easter based and stuff like that. And we know, like, what's it, the Easter Beagle? Is Easter Beagle Charlie Brown? I know that
Peter
Nick
Cotton,
was saying
Peter Cottontail.
Peter Cottontail
Cottontail.
from Rankin Bass. I know they do.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Oh
But I can't
well,
think of
with
more.
ranking pass, any holiday that moved, they would create
yeah,
Yeah,
something
that's
for
true.
it.
But you know what is interesting to me is that weirdly I always so associate like the Tolkien things, like the Hobbit and those things to Easter, and I don't know why. I don't know why, but I associate those with Easter, and maybe they
I don't have
played
any
them.
connection.
Maybe they
I don't
played
see a
them during
connection.
Easter.
Yeah,
They may have played them during Easter. When we
yeah.
were, and but of course the musicals, you got Godspell and Jesus Christ Superstar. I liked both of them.
Yeah, but I didn't like him as a kid. I
Really,
didn't want to. I didn't want to see that. I thought, was it that Nestor, the Easter donkey, or was that Christmas donkey?
it must have been Christmas. I mean, but it may have been Easter, but no, I don't think so because I don't know what anything donkeys have to do with Easter.
Good
Didn't
Friday,
Jesus
he
ride
rode
in?
into town in a donkey
Yeah,
Yeah,
on Good
he would have
Friday.
to
Palm.
show
Oh no, it's on Palm Sunday.
on Sunday.
Palm
On
I think
Sunday.
Sunday.
it would have been but still have been an awfully short film. I don't know. I guess the little drummer boy was short too. So
They were all short.
yeah, I
But
don't
the
know. I
other
don't know. I
question
don't remember
is,
that.
would anybody consider the Passion of the Christ as an Easter movie?
I think it is.
Only if
I
you're
never saw
perverted.
it. I never saw
Only,
it.
only if you're perverted.
Um, what was the other one? Other than the
The
greatest
greatest
story ever
story ever
told,
told.
and the one that Willem Dafoe was in. Which one is that one?
Oh, that's
Oh,
temptation of
Last
Christ.
Temptation of Christ.
Last Temptation of Christ. Yeah. all those, I guess, basically Easter season Christ shows, you know, the life of Christ type things. So I think, for instance, like we see Godspell is more like the gospel. Was it Matthew, according to Matthew? And that really tells, like, the parables and everything going up to the death of Christ. And Jesus Christ Superstar is almost entirely focused on the things leading up to his death. I don't, not too much going on, with regard to any religious teaching, as far as I recall. But the music is great. I mean, from my perspective. And I'm trying to think anything else that we recall from the Easter period that we use to entertain ourselves.
Well, if you get up early on Easter Sunday, there's always Davy and Goliath.
Davy and Goliath, absolutely, you're right. Davy and Goliath, early Sunday morning.
I don't remember the particular thing they showed, but
yeah.
It started off the most boring Sunday ever.
So did you watch David and Goliath, Sonia?
Oh yeah. David Goliath, not Living Word. There was another one. Seventh-day Adventists have a lot of had televangelists before they became popular. So
really?
There was a lot of stuff.
That? Why do you think that was? Do you have an opinion on that?
Because since it's Saturday, people could air the stuff on Saturday, instead of nowadays they would call them infomercials. But back then they were just broadcast.
Okay.
And so there would be tons of stuff, if your sports event was rain delayed or whatever, they would toss in one of the Seventh-day Adventist church things. And that was supposed to be getting you ready to go to church on Sunday, not fully comprehending that, no, these were people actually worshiping on Saturday.
Huh.
But I have a lost media show that I've been searching for the last 20 years. It used to come on Channel 9 in New York, and it was a puppet show, and the name of it was Susie Had an Angel. Okay.
What kind of demented thing are you talking about now?
No, no, it was a show, and you had the host Susie, and it was a little puppet named Benny. He was an angel that used to get into a lot of mischief, and it used to come on like early Sunday mornings on WOR Channel 9. I can't find it.
Yeah,
And
I don't remember that. Yeah, man.
I barely remember it myself. Okay, but I do remember a couple of Sundays watching it. But I've been searching for it for decades. Can't find it for some reason.
You know,
are you sure that's the name of it, or that's just what you called it?
No, I think that was the name of the show. In fact, I remember the theme song when Susie had an angel and Benny is his name.
You know what? You know what you can find out? If you find out what came on either before it or after it.
Right.
Because I remember Channel 9 on Sundays was a wasteland until like the Mets came on or something. It was nothing going on Channel 9.
Yeah, the only thing I can remember before the Mets game would be like in the late morning, Channel 9 used to show Hercules movies.
Oh yeah. Or Hercules the animated the cartoon version.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't remember any puppet show like that on Channel 9. You sure it was Channel 9?
Yeah, I'm almost 99% sure.
I came on after it.
Well, see, that's what I don't remember. I don't remember what came on before it, what came on after it. Also, you might be correct in that might not have been the title of the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
It may have been like the name of the song that you recall, but it may not have been the
Right.
title.
Yeah, because every time I type in Susie had an angel, it comes up touched by an angel.
Mm-hmm.
The current show.
And the strange thing about I remember the puppet Penny had a mustache.
Okay.
He had a mustache.
Yeah.
He had a bald head.
No.
Huh.
Did you see him on a color TV or black and white TV?
He
This
saw
was
it on his
black and white.
father's. He saw his,
Black and
on his
white.
father's color.
Oh, that's right. His father's color TV.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God
Yeah.
bless you, Dad.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then it wasn't so much a fallen angel as he was like a stumbling angel or something.
No, I think he was. I think in order for him to get his wings back, he had to do something positive or help people, but he just couldn't get out his own way.
Now, was it a hand puppet or
A
or
hand
string
puppet.
marionette?
No, it was a hand puppet.
Hand puppet.
And the person is a woman, is the person that is talking to him, or is that a real person, or is it another puppet?
A real person.
Huh. Wow, that's definitely a
I never saw
mystery.
that. Yeah, I never
That is
saw
a
that one.
mystery.
Yeah. If I saw that,
Actually, it could be that James is just sitting the demons in his house and making up shows in his head.
because if I saw
No.
something like that, to be honest, I'm turning away. I'm gonna watch like I'm gonna watch like Wonderama or something. I'm gonna watch something fun.
Well, actually, that's what I used to do. I'd say, okay, I'm a roll back over and go to sleep, and then I'm gonna get back up and watch Wonderama. You know?
Let's
It must have came up real early though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because usually with even the local stations.
Okay, all right. How about this? This is what I'm thinking. Okay,
Mhm.
you all are in New York, right? And this is like you said, the Bronx or wherever you got this channel, Channel 9. How tied in were they with the Catholic Church?
Not very.
That's the whole thing. I don't know whether the show was tied into the Catholic Church.
Because I'm not
sounds like
finding it.
the Catholic
Yeah,
Church would do.
only time we saw a priest on television in New York is when they were going off the air or something. Or
Yeah, but I'm
what's
just
his
saying,
name?
the Catholic Church they would make a stupid show like that. That's what I'm saying.
Oh God, what was that? The Cardinal's name? And
Kroll? I don't know which one.
O'Connor? No, he wasn't there yet.
no.
Cushing.
Oh God, what was his name?
Yeah, I don't. I'm even looking New York Channel 9 puppet series and can't find anything.
Mm.
Well, write Channel 9 and see if they have it in their archives somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
WOR.
In fact,
Are
you
they-
know who might be able to help. What I would have to spend the day and go over there is they have a museum here in New York of broadcasting,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and from what I understand, they have a huge archive of TV shows.
Yes,
No.
if they saved them.
Yeah, well, some they say. Well, see, that's why the museum was created to
Yeah.
stop local stations and networks from just tossing
Mhm.
shows into the trash or erasing, because we know with the BBC and Doctor Who, they were definitely infamous for just erasing tapes.
Wow.
And then with
Yeah.
Walter Winchell,
Mm-hmm.
with Jerry Mahoney and his show,
And Knucklehead Smith.
yeah, Channel 5, he had took them to court for I think money that he was owed, plus he wanted his intellectual property back.
Right.
And when it came time to the settlement, Metro Media, that owned Channel 5 at the time, they said, "Oh well, we erased most of his shows."
Oh my God. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. If I was the court, I would make them pay so much money.
Now it's
Well,
a
back
clock
then,
too.
because it was so expensive, they had to either erase or reuse stuff.
I would,
right.
if I was the court, I would charge them so much money. I said because it's just like any other lawsuit. You start the lawsuit, you go into standstill mode, which is everything you got. You stop right then,
That's
and it
that's
counts
why
everything.
that's why you can
Hmm.
find some old episodes of his shows, but that's when I think he was on ABC
Hmm. How
and
awful!
Channel 5. You could only find a Christmas show, which I posted on my writers page.
I
Was
remember
Yeah,
that.
that's all you
yeah.
see. Yeah, the Jerry Mahoney show, Knucklehead
Man, I mean,
Supreme.
if I were a court, I would say it's the day we started this lawsuit. You should have gone into standstill mode and recovered everything you had on that day.
But
Hmm.
You
I
should not
think
have
they
just
did
been
it
letting
like
things go by the wayside.
I think they did it like immediately. It just seems like to me that it's just a normal course of events. It's like after they had the show and they used it, then they use it again for something else.
Yep, that was most of the cases.
Yeah,
The only reason why a lot of the Johnny Carson got saved is because he had it in his contract. From the beginning, he wanted them, and
Mm.
yeah.
that was part of his payment.
That's why most people you have to be from New York to know the Joe Franklin show.
Hmm.
Right. Right.
Nobody knows what that. Nobody
That's
knows
no
that was.
that and what's his name? Oh, the tall guy. Well, I was young. Everybody was tall back then. Um, I remember they had a Mickey Mouse birthday party and invited all the private school kids because all the public school kids would automatically get invited to that. So they invited all the private school kids to go to the Mickey Mouse birthday party. And of course, most of the private school kids had no idea who Mickey Mouse was because if you're in a private parochial school, you're not going to be watching that stuff.
Hmm.
I don't remember that, but I
Okay,
know
you
that
said who's this you talk about said he was tall?
tall guy.
Um, I can see his face. I just can't pull out his name.
Not Sandy
Um,
Becker.
no, he did have national renown.
Soupy
Oh God,
Sales.
no,
Sonny
I
Fox?
remember. No, I remember Soupy. I got to meet Soupy when I got older and got to thank him for all his stuff. Um,
But that was weird.
Officer Joe.
not Brokaw.
What? That
Officer
was really
Joe.
weird. My thing just dropped off and just said your internet connection, was gone. That was very strange. I don't know
I
if
can't.
Vicky was. Can y'all
Officer
hear me?
Joe.
Yeah,
Officer, yeah, we hear you. Officer Joe Bolton.
Hmm.
yeah, I can't
Officer
remember
Joe
who it
Bolton.
was right now.
Oh yeah, Officer Joe Bolton. Um Captain McCarthy too.
Yeah,
Wow.
Oh, and Pixie, I can't remember her name. She had a show on Channel 5 too. Pixie.
Hmm.
y'all watch everything. Huh?
Yep.
Y'all had no discerning taste of what.
Nope.
Cheap babysitter.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it is.
They just watch that and be quiet. Okay.
Mm.
Mm-mm-mm.
Channel
Watch
11
that.
had was 11 picks where you would play video games.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
Well, actually, it was somebody playing, I guess, early Atari asteroids, and you would call in, and they would play the game for you. But when you were gonna make a move, you had to yell picks, picks, picks.
I'm gonna leave
Okay.
it up to them because Channel 11 came up with the original Yule log. So
Yeah, because they're Pix
Yeah,
11. This we call it Pix 11 News, right? When
yeah.
you watch
yep,
it.
they
Which
came up
I
with it.
don't understand what the hell happened with them because the last time I saw that they did it, they were showing it from like 6 o'clock in the morning till noon.
What, the Yule
When it's
log?
yeah, when
Yeah, that Yule
it
log
by
didn't last long. Yeah,
it used to be overnight though.
that's it, and that's it. to the morning.
Yeah, till the morning.
How
But
weird.
it's become a cultural icon all across the country now, and everybody has
Yeah,
their version of it.
And
It's
yet,
yeah.
Netflix,
Everybody has their version. Yeah, which
and
yeah,
Netflix
which
they
has its
really
version.
used to bill it as coming straight from Gracie Manor.
yeah yeah.
Yeah, straight from
Tom
Gracie.
Snyder, that's who I was trying to remember.
Oh, Tom
Oh
Snyder. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about him?
He had a morning show that nobody ever mentions. They always yell the late show or the tomorrow show
It's
because it was
called the Tomorrow
overnight.
Show. That's the show.
Right, but he used to have an
Yeah, he
overnight,
came on
early
after.
morning one too. I guess they repeated it.
Yeah, it could have
yeah,
been,
cause he
but I don't remember him. I don't remember him being associated with Mickey Mouse. So
He had a birthday party for Mickey Mouse, and
he had a
they
birthday
probably
party.
taped it. They probably taped it to show later that night. I don't remember, but I remember being in the audience for it.
That's
Huh.
before Disney said, no, 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 no. We have this
Yeah,
copyrighted.
and I think he was one of the last talk show hosts to actually smoke on camera too.
He
yep,
smoked a lot.
a lot.
You know, I was watching an interview. I mean, no, we getting off. We getting off track. We getting off
Yeah.
track. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're getting ready to be
No,
ending our Easter. So again,
well,
who's gonna?
yeah, that's because reason why I remember this is because they taped it around Easter, and then I remember
Mhm.
thinking later when I was older, but Mickey Mouse wasn't born around Easter.
How would you know?
Hmm?
How
I
would you
said when I
know?
was older.
Oh,
Mm.
when
At the
was he
time,
born? He's a mouse.
his first movie is when they
That's where he was
consider him
born.
being born. That's what on copyright. That's when his
Yeah,
copyright.
Yeah,
You
but
know
then
he.
we would know that because our
Yeah,
things like we didn't know when the first one was
Yeah,
yeah, and it's
published.
well,
some
how I
images.
know with me how I could always tell Mickey Mouse's age is that he was born the same year as my father.
Hmm.
What does that mean? What is that?
He just knows how old he is. That's all.
Oh, because some of his images are out of copyright.
The Steamboat Willie, I think, is
just the
out of
Steamboat Willie
copyright.
Yeah,
one.
Steamboat Willie.
Wow.
That's the only one
Okay.
that's out.
What about this, James? Is it possible that thing, Susie and Angel, is part of someone else's show? You know how it is. We have
No,
these shows, and they have these other people come on with their things in the shows.
no, because I remember the opening theme, which I tried to sing part of it.
Yes, that was very lovely.
Thank you, thank you.
Huh?
um, no, it was its own show, and it came on early in the morning. Because again, remember, I used to watch Brother Buzz on Saturdays early in the morning.
Well, how early is early for you? Because your hours sound crazy as a kid. That's
No, my hours have always been crazy.
so. How
I
early in the
mean,
morning are you? How early are you talking about?
no, okay. As a child, I would get up like 6 o'clock.
Oh, that's
Hmm.
crazy.
Okay, nah,
That is
cause
crazy.
listen, Saturday, I'ma squeeze that lemon to the last drop now.
No,
Okay. Okay.
no,
Okay,
no.
We understand you.
I'ma squeeze that lemon to the last. So I'ma get up early.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get my cereal. I'm gonna
Yep.
watch cartoons. Then maybe early afternoon, I'm gonna run outside, or maybe watch the Mets and Yankee game. I'm gonna watch whatever in the evening and creature
Mm-hmm.
features, all of that.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm
But we
getting it
talking.
all.
But we talking Sunday. You said this thing came on Sunday, right?
Sunday
Yeah,
morning early.
So how
and
you
Sunday
you wake
and
up?
Sunday and Sunday after I squeeze the juice out the lemon, I'm scraping the rind. Okay, I'm
Well,
getting that zest. I'm getting
the
that
thing is,
zest.
you can't wake up too early on Sunday because if you wake up early enough, you get dragged into church. So you try
Yeah,
to
you gotta
sleep.
watch out into the
You try to
sweet spot. You can't.
sleep.
No. Well, see, with us, my mother, she didn't she didn't go overboard saying, "Well, you gotta go to church." She would give us the option We could go to church or we could stay home. You know,
Go to
Be-
church, or you can burn perennial in
Yeah, that's the
hell.
option. That's the option. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
burn eternity
she
in hell. Your choices. Go to
she
church.
so she did say, "No, you're gonna burn in hell if you don't go to church, boy." Nah, I mean, during the Sunday school period, yeah, we had to get up, go to Sunday school and whatnot. Had my first traumatic experience with a dog. Okay,
My dog was in Sunday school with you.
so what happened was my mother, we was in church and my mother said to me, and my brother, all right, here's some change, you know, go to the candy store, get your, snack or something. So we go, I get this huge, humongous sugar cookie.
Mhm.
And I'm standing in front of the church and I get ready to take a nice bite into this
Mm-mm-mm.
tasty treat of a cookie. And don't you know, a freaking dog came loping by, snatched the fucking cookie out my hand, and
Oh,
kept. I kid, I kid you not. That
oh my!
shit. That I had
That
nightmares
is
after that.
trauma.
And there's
Cause
no walk.
I
Did he
can't.
walk or run away? Did he walk or
No,
run away?
he didn't run. He just snatched the cookie out and chewed it,
Wow.
Oh my
kept
gosh!
going, and
He
I
probably
ran
thought it was
into
for
the.
him.
Yeah, I maybe
Mm.
so. All I know is when I got to the church, my mom was like, "What happened?"
Well, you know what? You know
The
what?
cookie.
That what happened? What happened to you was totally messed up, but also very funny as well.
Okay, there you
Yes,
go.
yes,
Now it's funny.
It was
yeah.
funny.
Now
It
it's
would have been
funny.
funny if I saw that. If I was in New York at that time, I saw that happen to him. It would have been funny then.
Oh no, that'd be
Just as funny as
terrible.
it is now.
One
I would
man's
feel
humor
so
is
sorry
another
for
man's.
kids.
One man's tragedy is another
Yeah,
man's humor.
I was
Listen,
so if
I can laugh at it now, but back then, oh no.
Yeah.
if I a kid and I saw that happen to him as a kid, I would look at him. I said, "Oh shit! Look what happened to that guy."
Look what happened to that guy. It's very nice.
And meanwhile,
Very.
another dog would come up to you and take yours.
No, it
Yep.
wouldn't.
Mm-mm.
I go back in the house. I make sure it didn't happen to me.
Cause I'm out of here. These dogs going crazy around here.
That's your problem, James. You were too bold with your food. That's
He's
what.
too bold with his cookie. I
No,
sat
what
here
it
and
what it
froze them
was
all,
what it was.
lording my cookie over the
I
masses.
wasn't paying freaking attention. Is what it was.
Oh
That's your
no.
problem. As a New
Oh,
Yorker, you should
man,
always pay
I'm
attention.
gonna tell you, James, that's the type of thing for me. Like just like you, remembering it to this day, I would have been exactly the same.
Always
Because
pay
I know good
attention.
and full well that they get money from my skin flint parents for me to go get something for myself. That's like a once in a lifetime thing. It was never going to happen again. And here I am with the fruit of that particular incident in my hand that I actually got these people to give up some cash for me so I could go get a snack. Holy shit. Not school, not food for school, not lunch, but some snack just because I'm a marvelous child or they just want to get rid of me? Oh, either
And did,
one. And
and did the dog.
and a
And did,
dog,
he didn't even
I mean,
run.
I'm going to tell you this, James.
He
The
walked.
fact that you're not like a serial killer now is a testament to your discipline and morality.
Well, I tell you, these days living down here in Manhattan, I just have a dislike of small dogs.
Yeah.
I don't care for them. I don't care for it's
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something now, James. You just made it worse just now when you said that. I'm thinking like it's like a
A
Doberman
little
or
dog.
some freaking
And
German
then you know what
Shepherd
that
came
dog
after you.
you
You
know what
let
that
a
dog is
little
today?
dog?
no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, that was a German Shepherd that did that to me
Okay,
with
all
the
right. So I'm
sugar
saying
cookie.
Oh,
that's
he's
what I'm
not
expecting,
changing
like
the
a German
story.
Shepherd or something, not no
But
little dog.
but it's just that no, that was a big dog. Okay, I
That's
wasn't
what
gonna
exactly.
fight him for that cookie now.
Exactly. I mean, let's
Okay,
face
but
it.
down
Once he
here,
got the cookie, once he got it, All bets,
Right.
that's it. Because even if you got it back, what you gonna do with it? Lick it
Exactly.
off and say you're kissing up to God?
No,
Huh?
no, I
Exactly.
throw it
You're not
away.
gonna
I
eat
throw it
it.
away because I would throw the
Not
cookie
me. I
away
would go
because
back in the store. I said something's wrong with this cookie. I need to trade it in for another one.
It's
But
got dog hair on it.
But the
Yeah.
problem I have with the small dogs down here in Manhattan is that I just don't understand why are you pushing a little dog in a stroller.
I know. So if you're walking the dog, doesn't the dog need to walk?
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm saying.
that's the
well, it may
point,
be
right?
age. He may be disabled.
No,
from that
these are
standpoint.
You know what?
no
If he's
no.
disabled, he should stay his ass home.
I don't understand it, and to me this is a problem with American society in that we feel we're entitled to the point where we're pushing dogs around in strollers. Come on, dogs, they
You
have
know,
to get
this people do. People nowadays lack boundaries and
yeah.
common sense.
Well,
There's
it's like
boundaries and common sense.
my mom used to tell me in New York, they had the Society to Prevent Cruelty to Animals before they had Society to Prevent Cruelty to Children.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So just
Yeah.
just let that sink in.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's insane. I see
I
people,
don't get it.
people they get upset, and I have friends and relatives, with these little dogs and stuff walking around, treating them better than they treat other human beings, and it really angers me.
And that dog
It does.
today, James, is
Hmm.
living on East 83rd Street in a rent controlled apartment.
Yeah.
Just want to let you know,
Just want to let you know.
just in case you didn't know, just
He's
let
still
you know.
living a life.
Yep.
He's in a rent controlled apartment.
And eating cookies every day.
Right.
No,
Just want to let you know.
yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's first of all, to me, you're messing with the dog because dogs have to stretch their legs.
Yeah.
Okay, they have to get the exercise in. But you have some people down here that and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who the person is because I have seen rich white people do it, and right here where I live at, you had a couple of ghetto fabulous people,
Mhm.
okay, pushing their dog around
But
in
it
a
used to not. It
stroller.
used to not be that way though. Black people didn't do stuff like that.
And
I
now
know
they're following this nonsense.
this
It's a
this
weird
this
thing.
insanity.
And I'll tell you the one I don't like. I do not like people that bring their freaking dogs into the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how vulgar and inconsiderate.
I was thinking of you when I saw one in the store today.
Yeah, so I said
Well,
vulgar. And
You
inconsiderate.
can bring your dog in the grocery store if it's walking on the ground, but do not put it in a basket.
Yeah, because you're not cleaning that thing out afterwards. Your dog licks his behind, and puts his dog butt on the seats, but other people put their children. It's
That's a horrible
absolutely
thought.
not.
That's a
And then I
horrible
saw
thought.
a dog, guy brought dog to the store, and the dog got scared or whatever and crapped all over the floor, and people's children got to walk on the floor.
Who cleaned it up?
The guy tried to clean up, but you know what? He's not a professional. I don't want him bringing this dog in the store. And I'm going to tell you that day was the last day I saw a dog in that store.
Mm.
The last day I saw a dog in that store. And I think what they do now is say, people that say, oh, and they bring my dog, they say, you know what? That's why we have online shopping.
Mhm.
Shop
Mhm.
online and get your stuff taken to your house and do not bring your dog to the store. I just think people who do that, I think they are so self-centered and just beyond the pale. I don't even think we didn't take our children to the store. And
Again, it's everybody figures that this is what's supposed to be. They're entitled to this. Okay.
Mhm.
I mean, you get some women on the train, especially a lot of vanilla women. They will have They will be sitting on a seat. They will have their dog on the seat and their bag, and then
That's
look at
crazy.
you like you're crazy.
Now, taking the subway. Only time I saw a dog on the subway was with a guy that had, dark shades on and had a cup full of pencils.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Yeah. No, in fact,
I'm sorry. If I was on the train, I'd say if you have a dog on the train, your dog needs to stand on the floor.
I never saw that.
I mean, I would
Nobody
just say
saw dogs
absolutely
on
not.
on
Your dog
the
should be on the
subway.
floor. People sit on the seats. Your dog needs to stand on the floor. It's an animal. If they
Growing
can't,
up,
as I
I
said, the
never
dog
saw
can
that.
ask. If the dog can ask, is this seat taken? Then the dog needs to stand on the floor.
and wouldn't that be something if the dog did?
Yeah, the dog did. And I say, you know what? Not only can you have this seat, you can have this entire car. If I can have the entire train, because obviously, you're a spawn of Satan. And I'm out of here.
That's just ridiculous, man.
No, fact. I just don't know. I don't know what this world
No.
is going to
I said, if you can do all that, then you deserve everything.
do. You can't have the whole car to yourself
You have
because
the
I'm
whole
out.
car. I'm
Okay.
out. I'm out.
I never saw any animals on the subway at all. I never saw any of that.
I have never seen an animal on the subway either.
Oh,
I've never, except the rats, of course, but they weren't inside.
I don't
They
count
were
them.
outside.
I don't.
Yeah.
They're part of the background.
yeah, that's plus that's their home anyway. They ain't
Yeah,
going
that's where they live.
nowhere.
Yeah,
But
that's
no,
part of
you
the. Yeah.
these days you see a lot of dogs on the subway
That's
because
crazy.
before they used to say that you have to have proof on you that that's a comfort
Service
dog.
animal.
Working dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Service.
working dog
Yeah.
service. Yeah, now people don't give a shit about that no more. They have the dogs in their handbags.
I saw this guy. This guy was on a flight, and we were on the flight, and he had like everybody. I think they thought it was a baby because it was wearing like this baby outfit, and then he was like, "There's like this." He took it and he put it, and me and Stone saw it, and it was a flip flopping dog in a baby's outfit.
Oh my God.
That's why I thought of you. That's why I thought of you today, because the lady was fumbling trying to handle everything with one hand, and I'm like, just put the stuffed animal down. And then the stuffed animal turned and looked at me. And I was like, holy.
And you know what that dog is thinking? That dog is thinking, I really don't want to. That dog's thinking, I really don't want to be here. Please don't.
He was all dressed up and everything.
Don't blame
me. I'm leaving now.
That dog I'm out.
That dog
is suffering. Taking over the asylum, and I'm out.
No, the dog is saying, please take this shit off me. Please.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. Take this off. Yeah, I don't. And it's sad. It's sad that this society has gotten to the point where we are more concerned. And don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with pets, but when we're more concerned with pets than with our own children, okay, it's like this to show you where our priorities are. You got people running around with dogs and strollers and all that shit and dressed up in baby onesies or whatever.
Yep.
Meanwhile, you got two pieces of crap in West Virginia that basically was doing slavery on two young black children up there. Did y'all hear about that?
No, sir.
That's another conversation. We got to sign off on this one.
That's right. We're almost done, guys. So with that in mind, children being enslaved in West Virginia, we say Happy Easter. Happy Easter and long live the rebellion. Y'all take care. We're back again to see you next week. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful remainder of your weekend, and ciao.
Bye.
Bye.